Greetings, everybody! This is the Starving Martian, and today we're continuing our look at Mars Attacks, the Art of the Movie by Karen R. Jones. Now a major motion picture. So we've been through the first two parts. Let's dive right in because we don't have well, we got more pages than we got time, is what I'm saying. And so here we are with Chapter 6: All the President's Little Green Men. And so we see the war room as depicted in the film. It's Jack Nicholson there as president. It's Martin Short. And a bunch of hands. Always important. Some sketches of the Capitol under siege. A couple production shots. There's a director. The back of Glenn Close's head. Always important. There, she has a face. That's nice. Hey, there's the dog. You know, I have good feelings about this dog. I think the dog's going to survive. Dog always survives. More shots of the set. Some more interiors. Is that wonderful battle simulation with the little saucers? I would love one of those in my house. Alrighty, guys, ready to get to the fun part? We're getting to the fun part. Here's the fun part. Ah! Yes, the Martian death ray. Oh no, looks like I spoke too soon about the dog. Here's some of the aftermath of the Martian attack. And now the Martian Girl, often known as the Martian Spy Girl. She's become one of the more iconic parts of the Mars Attacks movie. And she actually did not debut in the movie. Most of you will know if you've been following my channel that she was not in the original trading card series, but she was featured in the Topps comics, which came out a year or two before the film did. So Tim Burton drew inspiration from the comic book to include her in the film. And so here we have, we're going to see some shots of the actual actress, who was actually Tim Burton's girlfriend at the time. And we're also going to see some of his original artwork, including this piece right here. This is how he initially envisioned his Martian Spy Girl. And yeah, let me just say that you won't be allowed into the White House with these things because those are registered weapons. Seriously, you could put somebody's eye out with that. But yeah, there's Tim Burton's original sketch. You know, her dress is one of the few Tim Burton-y things in the film, visual-wise. He loves these circles and spirals and everything. So yeah, there's our initial sketch of the Martian Spy Girl. Here she is in the classic revealing the alien within pose, which was also the cover of the comic book. Had a very similar pose to that. In fact, there's that cover right now. So compare and contrast, you can see where he took inspiration from. You can see the dress here has been Well, some of the attributes have been toned down a bit. Although it's a lot more loose and flowing towards the bottom than the actual film. But again, there's a good Tim Burton sketch of the Martian Spy Girl without her mask. And you can see his vision for what she's going to look like comes through very well. You can also see some of the subtle differences between her hairstyle and the original one in the comics. But I think this works just fine for the movie. Once you know she's an alien, you could see where that bulbous brain would be hidden. Some black and white shots, little behind the scenes. Some sketches of that eyeball ring that she wears. Now eventually they ended up going with more of these designs here without the eyelid. So it's just interesting to see some of the preliminary ideas, what these things might look like. And there she is modeling it. With, of course, part of her face torn away. That'll happen. I've always loved the fact that her little purse is actually shaped just like her ray gun, because that's all she keeps in there. So it's very effective. Here's a pro tip if you're looking for her action figure. It comes in two variants. One talks and one doesn't. Now, the talking one may or may not actually still speak, depending on if the batteries have died. But the talking one, you can always tell the difference because it will come with a red handgun, just like this one. The non-talking variant comes with a green handgun. So, if you're curious, that's how you know. And exit Spy Girl. In fact, you can see her brain fluid exiting through the top of her head. Chapter 8, The Heartland Ablaze. Everybody do the international sign of the donut. So there's Joe Don Baker. His missus in the show. Their trailer. Donut shop. Danish pastry, only 95 cents. Sketches of the town. And something going boom. And here we have our iconic burning cattle. And here's a sketch of what that's going to look like. And here's some pre-burnt burning cattle. Which this would have been the actual live action shot. And then the flame was added later. They didn't actually set cattle on fire. For which I think we can all be glad. But this, of course, is based off of one of the classic trading cards from the original series called Burning Cattle and would be used to open the film. And there's Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Some of her favorite records, which will play a crucial part in saving the world. Chapter 9, Viva Las Vegas. Shot of the strip getting toasted. Some storyboard sequencing. In fact, here's a bigger section of storyboards. Mr. Burton again. Interior shots for the casino. Some costume designs. This one's very close to what was actually used. in film. Hold on a sec. There we are. Some costume designs for the rude gambler, as portrayed by Danny DeVito. And the yellow one actually looks a little bit like something that Mario ends up wearing at one point in the Super Mario Brothers live-action movie, when they're dancing in the club and he's trying to get that stone away from Big Bertha. You know what I'm talking about. And why not? We'll take on Chapter 10. Martian Bites Computer Animation takes the stage. Now, it's been commonly reported by now that Tim Burton wanted to use all stop-motion animation. That was going to be too expensive and time-consuming, so computer animation was deemed the way to go. Computer animation kind of in its infancy at the time, but was used well because it wasn't completely computer animated. There was a lot of props, there was a lot of puppets, there was a lot of actual physical things being used, and the computers were just used to enhance that, and I think that's usually the most successful use of computer animation. So here's our Martian leader. Side profile. He's getting his mugshot or something. We are in the production studio. We're making some of these wonderful puppets and such. Oops. Hold on a minute. My pages are sticking together. Inside the saucer set. The Martian attack on Congress. According to this, Tim Burton described the Martians as having the attitude of bad, hyperactive teens. ILM brought the attitude to life on the screen. So, there you go. If you ever wondered what the director's vision for the Martians was, they were bad, hyperactive teens. Really hard to make out storyboard sequences, especially on this cheap camera. Storming inside there. And so these were all scenes that were enhanced using the computer graphics. The Martian's ticker tape message. And laughing over the fate of the Earth while reading a Playboy magazine. Which, if you remember, the trading card spent like 4 cards, I think, talking about this Playboy magazine. It's like, really? Move on. We got other stuff to cover. Sketch of the death cannon aimed at Granny's head. And an actual shot from the film to compare. There's the Martian sneaking in. And the death of the rude gambler. See, folks, does not pay to be rude. There's Martin Short as seen through the Spy Girl's ring. It's not a flattering angle, but let's face it, there is no flattering angle for Martin Short. And that about does it for the time we have today. So we will pick up with the Warner Digital joins the team with these awesome looking robots next time around. And finish off our look at Mars Attacks, the art of the movie. So stay tuned for part 4. But until then, as I always say, keep watching the skies. This has been the Starving Martian, signing off.